What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with episode, I believe, 35 of what to buy on eBay now. We've got some vintage Kenner items, we've got some graded comic books, some loose ungraded figures, and some vintage collection. Before I dig in any further, I want to say thank you to Ray Pulley Pulford. He recently increased his Patreon contribution, and thanks as always to all my Patreon supporters. They get my videos 24 hours early access. Patreon.com/actionfiguregrader is where you can go to sign up. Let's dig into some pretty cool items. I think I've got a nice assortment here for you guys. As always, I've got to give the standard disclaimer. Make sure you vet the sellers and you look at these items really closely to make sure it works for you. But I wanted to show you this one. This is a mint on card Death Star droid. This is, I believe, the 20 back G, with the rounded corners on that sticker that went over the rocket-firing Fett. Now, this is not a perfect card by any means. It's got a big crease that you can see there on the right-hand side, and then on the back, it does poke through a little bit there. You can see it. But overall, very, very clean. This is probably a 75 plus grade. The blister is perfectly crystal clear. It looks to be in really excellent condition overall. There's a close-up of the figure there. It's got that kind of wonky eyes, which does happen with these Death Star droids, even inside the blister. I've got an ESB card back where those eyes are kind of off-kilter, like somebody beat him over the head and he's a little confused. But it's got that rocket-firing Boba Fett offer sticker, and then on the back it's got the rounded corner yellow sticker towards the top of the card. So I think this is the 20 back G, if memory serves. This one's listed for $875. There's 10 watchers on it. This is being sold by Skiff Trader, who's a pretty well-known eBay seller and pretty trusted seller. I think I've even bought something from him in the past. There's one little ding in the upper right-hand corner. I'm guessing this one would score 75 overall with AFA or CAS, but it's a gorgeous example in very high grade. You can pay, I'd say, $1,000, $1,200 pretty easily. So this one's probably not too far off of list price. I think if you watch this one, maybe he makes an offer soon. $750, $850, somewhere in that ballpark. It's not too far off of list price. I mean, off of market value where it's listed right now, but could probably come down just a smidge. Next up is a baggie. We've got the Weequay Baggie. I can't remember which baggie type this is, but this is a heat-sealed baggie, so I think this is an ESBD baggie. Don't quote me on that. But pretty good shape. The front of the the ink on the front of the package is in good shape. It does have that factory air breather hole right above the Kenner logo there, but overall really, really good condition. There's 5 watchers on this one. It's listed for $130 free shipping, and I did receive an offer from this seller, as you can see in the upper left, for $120. So maybe you watch it and he comes down just a little bit more. 110, 120 is probably not too far off of market value for that Weequay Baggie. This is a really interesting one, and in a different universe, I'd probably buy it myself. But this is the Walrus Man 21 back, but it has that offer extension sticker on the front of the card. And this is for the Bossk mail-away, so where the mail-away offer was extended. So there's that sticker on the front, and then there's also a little rectangular sticker on the back. If I can get eBay to work here. Let's see here. Right there, it says offer extended until 12/31/80, allows 6 to 8 weeks for shipment. This is a very, very rare offer extension sticker. You do not see these pop up very much. And this one's at auction. It ends on Sunday evening. There's 4 days, 5 hours left as the making of this video. Now, the card is not perfect, right? There's some litho wear from where the sticker, some sticker residue there. That might come off with some letter fluid. And there's also a couple of dings on the top of the blister there. But I can tell you that I have not seen this Bossk offer extension sticker on these 21 backs come up very often, and it's very tough to find. It is a clear blister, and it is unpunched. Again, it's got some issues, so it's probably like a 75 grade at best, but I can tell you that these, I mean, this is, I think, only the second time I've ever seen one of these Bossk offer extensions come up for sale. So right now it's at $250, $10 shipping. Again, it's an auction, so I don't know where this is going to end up. I'm going to throw a round number guess out there of $450, maybe $500. But again, that is complete throwing the darts at a wall because I have no idea what this is going to sell for. There's just not a lot of data out there for these extension sticker 21 back ESB card backs, but very rare. And if you're okay with the damage on that card, that's a very cool one. Next up is a custom graded VC61 TVC prototype Boba Fett. graded UKG 90%. Now, this is a custom because it does have that Toys R Us flyer encased inside the box, along with the mailer box, as well as the mint on card VC61. And there it is right there. There's the label on it. Boba Fett Proto Armor mail away exclusive. And it's graded straight 90s. I did receive that Toys R Us flyer from Bossk Bounty as a gift, and I still have that in my possession. So maybe I can make this custom display at some point with CAS. But this one's for sale, and I actually don't think the price is that bad. 325 pounds, which is about $400 US plus another $40 shipping to the US. Quite honestly, I'd pay that. I'd pay that. Just to grade that with CAS would probably run you about $200 after accounting for shipping and things like that. So you're essentially paying, let's call it $200 for a very high grade VC61 prototype Fett with that flyer. So it's not a bad offer. It really is not. And I think I would consider that one pretty heavily, especially if you're in the UK and maybe the shipping's a little bit more reasonable versus the global shipping program. I'm surprised it's only $40 to ship that, because that's a big box, a big acrylic case there. But very, very cool item, and that's definitely worth a look. The same seller also has a UKG 95% VC112 Sandtrooper. Now, this is the Dirty Armor variant, which is a lot more desirable. We've documented in my TVC market updates ungraded examples going for over $200. And this is graded straight 95s with UKG. Unpunched example, really nice one. And this is listed for 249 pounds, which is $302. I mean, as I said, this is easily a 200-plus item ungraded. And to get it straight 95s from UKG for $300 plus shipping, if I'm in the UK especially, I would definitely consider that. That's really not a terrible price. I mean, I know some TVC has come down a little bit in price, but that's a very desirable item to get that Dirty Armor Sandtrooper, especially in that high of a grade. So that's one worth taking a look at. Next up, Giorgio Joe. I bought from this seller, very, very trusted seller. I had a great experience buying an AT-AT driver 45 back Star Wars display arena from this seller. And he's got some really nice Vintage Collection 1.0 for sale. I pulled up a couple of them, but he's got more available. So go check them out. And as always, I forgot to remind you guys that I'll put the item numbers in the video description in this video, so you guys can go check it out. But go check out his other inventory, because this guy does have some really great early TVC. And this one is the VC21 Unpunched Offerless Gammorean Guard. And it's listed for $60 plus $8 shipping. There's already 3 watchers on it. It just went on the market as of the making of this video. Nice unpunched example. That's a pretty good price. That's a really good price, really, for an offerless one. You don't see that one offerless, I feel like, very often. He also has the 501st Legion Clone Trooper unpunched. That's listed for $100 plus $8 shipping, and you can make an offer on this one. I looked at the photos really closely, and it does look to be in pretty fantastic condition. So check out both of those, and as I said, he does have some others. Next up, we've got Dr. Aphra #1 in a CGC 9.8. This is her first solo comic. This book has dropped like a rock, and it's at auction right now with 4 days and 5 hours left. Right now, it's at $17.50. For a while there, this was going for $175 to $200, and like everything else, it's come back down to earth. So I'm always hesitant to recommend any comics right now unless they're auctions. So again, it's $17.50 with $12 shipping right now. I think you can get this one for under $100 right now. I've seen some data points between $75 and $100. I would aim for $80. If you get it for $80 plus shipping, that's a good price. Again, this is her first solo comic book series. It's got her murder droids as well as Black Chrysanthemum on the cover. Worth having. I've got it in my collection. And with today's prices right now for graded comics, that's a great book to look at. Likewise, here's Star Wars Thrawn #1. And we've talked about this book in various market updates for comics. This is the John Tyler Christopher action figure variant. Much fewer of these on the CGC census in a 9.8. And this one's at $145 starting bid price. There's been no offers yet. There's $17 shipping on it. So that puts you at about $170, $175. And this one has sold for about that price. So, maybe you watch it, and if it doesn't sell, he lowers it and starts a new offer, at a lower price. but this is not far off of market value right now. And I can tell you, you can go look it up for yourself on the CGC census. There are way less of these in a 9.8 grade than the standard cover A. We all know Thrawn's coming to the new Ahsoka series, and I have this book in a 9.8. I paid $180 for it. I bought it from Boss Bounty for $180, and right now this is going for less than that now. But I would look at that book, and again, maybe you watch it, maybe it doesn't sell, and he relists it for $125 or whatever the number is. But there are some data points between $160 and $180, so this is not far off of market value, and a great looking action figure variant cover for Grand Admiral Thrawn. Another comic is Star Wars number 24 from 1979, and this one's at auction. This is the first solo story for Obi-Wan Kenobi. This book really jumped up during the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and like everything else, it's come back down to earth. And I think you can probably pick this one up for less than $200 now in a CGC 9.8 with white pages. It's a decent cover. It's not my favorite. C-3PO, I don't think that's C-3PO. Maybe it is, but it's kind of a wonky looking cover. Obi-Wan there, along with some kind of space pirates that are all getting ready to attack him. But this is his first Obi-Wan flashback solo story. This is kind of the first one, non-adaptation. It's at $22.25 right now with 6 days to go in the auction. Again, if you can get it for under $200, which I think it will go for, this is the direct edition. You can see the line through the barcode there in the lower left-hand corner. So for the direct edition, and by the way, direct editions in late 70s books are very tough to find, actually. Most of them are newsstand editions. So I actually think that the direct edition is harder to find than the newsstand for some of these early books. So maybe it may not be true for this book, but that seems to be the case for a lot of the kind of 1980 and earlier books. There's kind of what's called the Whitman direct editions. Those are very, very pricey. There's only one for every 10 of those. Those are known to have a blank barcode instead of a barcode with the line through it. That's one I'm looking for Star Wars number 16. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, trying to share some comic book knowledge, but look at this book if you're into Obi-Wan. It's not, again, it's not the greatest cover, but it is his first solo standalone story. Kind of a cool piece of history. I don't know if it'll ever appreciate in value, but if you're into these early comics, that's not a bad one to look for. And I'm guessing it goes for under $200. Next up, we've got the Dark Times Darth Vader Vintage Collection. This is graded uncirculated 8.5, so it's not a 9.0 or above, and I think that'll hold the price down just a little bit. It seems like the 9.0s and above are going for $130 to $150. This one's at an auction. There's 6 days left. $125 is the current bid. You might be able to pick this one up for kind of like $80 or less. So take a look at that one. But I do love that figure. I don't have this one in my collection. Great card back, and obviously the figure's great. And again, it's an uncirculated 8.5, so it's not a 9.0, and that usually holds the price down on modern graded vintage collection. Next up, we got the big one here. This is not for the faint of heart, but given the comic book market, now might be a good time to find an auction for Star Wars The Clone Wars #1. This is obviously the first appearance of Ahsoka Tano, as well as Captain Rex in comics. This is one of the grails in my collection, and this one's at auction, and I guarantee you that this one sells for less than what I paid for mine, because the comic book market has definitely softened. There's 6 days, 6 hours left as of the making of this video. It ends on Tuesday night. It's at $245.50. I would aim for $1,600 and under. If you can do that, and I think it will. I think it'll go for between $1,400 and $1,600, somewhere in that ballpark. Great comic, and one of the modern grails for Star Wars comic book collectors is the Dark Horse comic, obviously. If you got the money, now's a great time to buy it. I'm trying to get all of my grails right now for comics because the market is soft, and I'm aiming for all the big ones. I got Clone Wars #1. I've got another one. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen it. Star Wars number 42 in a 9.8. The first comic book appearance of Boba Fett and Yoda. Really happy to have that in my collection. My next one I'm going to aim for, hopefully, is Star Wars number 68. So anyway, if you're into these grails, this is a good time to look for them. And this one's at auction, and I bet it sells for less than $1,600. I bet it's somewhere between $1,400 and $1,500. Next up, I got some loose figures. This is the Max Rebo Band, and it says it's no repro, and I've bought from this seller before. This seller, Jaybird 8325, is really known for graded comics, and I've bought from this seller before some slabs, But he does have some really, really nice, loose, complete, ungraded figures right now at auction. And the first one is this one. This is the Rebo Band. It looks to be in great shape. He says, again, that it's no repro. Right now it's at $17.50. There's 5 days, 6 hours left on that one. He also has EV99 that looks to be in pretty impeccable condition. Beautiful figure. That one's obviously pretty high already. $155 with 5 days plus to go on that one. And I know he has some others. I think he's got a Luke Jedi and a few others. So again, go check out Jaybird. But I have bought from this seller before and been very, very happy. But again, I'll caveat that by saying that they've been graded comics that I bought from him. But he must have got a collection in because he's got some really nice, loose, ungraded, complete figures all at auction right now. Speaking of EV99, here is a UKG 90 encased with the coin. And this is at auction as well. 5 days left on that. 205 pounds is the price right now, which is about $250. That's going to go for some big money. It is the older case style. But Danforth Toys, I bought from this seller before on Facebook. You know, if you're into these graded last 17 figures, that's a beautiful example. Having the coin inside and 90 grade. Wow. Very, very nice looking figure. One of my favorite characters is the Cloud Car Pilot. I've already got this one, but I wanted to show this. This is the 48 C-back with the free Revenge of the Jedi sticker. And this is an AFA 80. 80, 85, 80. Now, it says it's a yellowed blister. It must be very, very faint, because if you look at the close-ups of the blister, I don't really see any yellowing. So I think that will hold the price down just a little bit. It is unpunched with no price sticker, already graded, and it's at auction. 6 days left plus on that one. It's at $177.50. I'm going to guess it sells for between $500 and $600. We'll see how right I am in my next Mint on Card market update. But that is a beautiful example of the Cloud Car Pilot. Both accessories are still taped to the inside of the blister. And if it's yellowed, it's very, very faint, because it's a really nice looking example and worth a look if you're okay with that light yellowing. But I don't see much in terms of the way of the yellowing on that one. Next up, I've got a few more grails before we wrap the video up. This is an Unpunched VC13 TVC Canadian Yoda. Several of you have reached out about this one, asking me what I thought about it. It looks to be really mint. And this seller, Cold Bridge Store, is known to have really nice Canadian TVC. I've bought several from him over the years. I bought my Canadian Jango Fett from him, and I bought my Canadian Darth Malgus from him, and I bought my Canadian Hoth Rebel Echo Base Soldier from him. And they were all Canadian cards, all of them in beautiful condition, and he's very, very trusted seller. This is a gorgeous unpunched example of the Holy Grail in the TVC line, and there's 5 watchers on it. Now, it's listed for $2,200 Canadian, which is $1,600 US. I know prices have come down a little bit, but we documented several last year that sold for over $2,000 US, and I think this one is worth a look if you're into paying these big boy prices, because this one is very, very clean, and I think it would grade an 85 plus, or more likely a 90 grade. So that's a gorgeous example. Another grail is a removable hood Lily Letty Jawa, and it's graded UKG 85% with the brand new case style. This is a buy it now situation for $2,180 US, or about 1,800 pounds. I did receive an offer from this seller, the Muffin Man, who I've talked about at length and I bought from in the past. I received an offer for 1,675 pounds, so that's not much off. Maybe, what's that, about 8% off of that list price. So there's 22 watchers on it, which is a lot. So I think it will sell, and I have seen examples on Facebook sell for not much more than this, not much less than this, I should say, ungraded. So I think this price is pretty fair, quite honestly. And if you can get a little bit knocked off, more power to you. But that's a really nice looking figure with that removable hood, and it's got and it says on the label there, L stamp blaster. So you know it's the correct accessory for that Lily Letty Jawa. That is a holy grail for me. I would love to have that, but Hakes is around the corner, so I'm not spending right now. But that's a beautiful figure right there, and if you got the money to burn, you should grab it. Finally, I wanted to show this. I'm not saying this price is right, but I wanted to talk more about VC13, and I've been corrected by Boss Bounty. He said that unpunched examples of the Anakin Skywalker name pill are very tough to find, very, very, very rare. And this one is an uncirculated 9.0. Now, the Darth Vader name pill, unpunched, I always thought was harder to find. And it seems like for unpunched examples, the Darth Vader name pill is certainly easy to find, but it goes for a lot of money. Now, punched examples of the Anakin Skywalker, those are pretty plentiful. But Boss Bounty said that Anakin Skywalker name pills unpunched are extremely, extremely rare. And this price reflects that. It's the best. The list price is $2,500 US. There's already 10 watchers on it. I received an offer from the seller for $2,250. Now, I have no idea where this is going to sell. Okay, I have no idea. I think it is way too high personally. I wouldn't pay anywhere near that price. To me, I would rather have an unpunched clone Commander Cody than I would this, and I would just be happy with a unpunched Darth Vader name pill. But that's what it is. It's an uncirculated 9.0. It's as good as it's going to get. And Tim over at Boss Bounty did say that these are very, very rare. So I'll be curious to see if this sells. Again, there's already 10 watchers on it, plus me. And I did receive an offer for $2,250. So if you won the lottery and you want something else to blow your money on, there you go. An uncirculated 9.0 Anakin Skywalker name pill, VC13. And we'll see what it sells for. I'm going to keep it on my watch list. And if it does sell, I'll let you guys know what the best offer was that was accepted for this bad boy. That's all I really got for you. I hope you find something that you like. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.